What is the customer experience going to look like? If your customers are booking you online, what does that look like? Because I think that helps to share what you're working toward. There's a lot of different ways you can kind of organize your packages. We'll take a look at some of the options later, but basically what we like to do with Check Cherry is kind of guide the customer through that buying process, almost as if they were sitting in front of you. You might start with, okay, how many guests are you going to have? How many bartenders are you looking for? However you choose to organize things, you can kind of guide them through that. And you can set up different packages. Those can include different things. And you can charge, you might charge extra for hourly, if they need extra hours, and you might charge extra if they have, depending on the number of guests they have. We'll collect their
Eh,
name, collect their, go ahead.
Yeah, I was gonna say worth mentioning, like after that step, we save a lead basically. So somebody's been pre-qualified on price. And so if they don't finish the booking process, you'll get a lead with their information.
As they go through, that total is going to be live updated right there, so they can see, uh, what the total is going to be. And you can also have all kinds of different add-ons, tons of different options there. Based on the venue, because we'll collect the venue up front, we can calculate things like sales tax, travel fees, that sort of thing. After that, they'll be on the confirmation page. Depending on, we do support things like monthly payments. We support, different payment plans you can set up. This is probably too many payment plans to offer, but you can set up, different payment alternatives for them to take, and they can pay that deposit. They can pay the full amount. They can kind of split their payment over several events, make further payments with auto pay. So lots of different options. CheckSherry supports all the normal credit card. In the US, that's going to be Visa, MasterCard, American Express, Discover. And then we also support ACH as well.
Apple Pay and Google Pay will show up too if the customer
Yeah.
has that in their
Yep.
account. And that's really awesome for if they're on their phone, it's really great, because they just enter their card super easy.
Absolutely. And then you can also do what we call like manual payment methods. So a lot of our customers deal a lot with, say, schools or certain types of corporate events where, they're going to send you a check in the mail, or maybe you deal with a lot of, customers that want to pay via Zelle or things like that. You can also set up those more manual payment methods. And then once you receive them, go ahead and record those manually. So once they do that, they can, will you'll have a booking, you'll get an email, they'll get an email confirmation, and you're good to go. So that's kind of the general flow for somebody booking online. Obviously, you can kind of customize things to suit what you need. And if you need to collect more details after the booking, things like questionnaires and
Yeah.
make further payments, invoicing, all that type of stuff. You've got a full portal that they can log into anytime and answer a lot of questions or get information.
Let's look at those package settings, Matt, and specifically the unit price stuff, because it's really common that we see um, you guys want to basically charge more based on the guest count. And so that's
Yeah.
basically, hey, I need another person here because there's so many people, we don't want to have a big line. Or I'm offering, I think there's an upsell in there that's like premium plasticware or something like that. And I need to basically charge per guest. And so Check Cherry will basically automatically calculate those things for you.
Once you're logged in, you're going to see this getting started checklist. And this is going to kind of walk you through the main things. So you can, click the packages there, go to manage packages, and go from there. So if we pick, once you sign up, you're probably going to see a bunch of defaults within your account. So if we go into one of these, you can kind of come through, start editing. If you want to change the name, change the description, things like that, you can. For now, we're going to look at the pricing and scheduling. And um, so coming down to the pricing section, this is probably the main area worth going into a little bit more. So we've got a few fields here. You'll see your starting rate. And so that's going to be, basically the minimum that you're going to charge. So say you know, with this example, we're at, $600 starting rate. We Below that, we've got this setting to charge for extra hours. If you turn that on, then how that's going to work is if you go beyond the 4 hours here, it's going to charge 150 per hour. And below that, we've got these charge by unit settings. And so these are useful if you want to charge per guest. So what you can do is say, set up different pricing tiers. So say you want to charge, $5 a guest. what you can do is set the minimum number, the maximum number, and the price. So we're going to say $5 a guest.
Let that drop down too to change the name of it. We're at unit right now.
Yeah. So once you change that, it's going to change it to guests instead of units. And so basically how this is going to work is, for the minimum, if it's between 0 and 100, it's going to be $5 per guest. You could also have additional tiers if you need to. You could have a lower price if it's 101 to 200 or something like that. This is going to get added to the starting rate. So I think that's a common thing that can be confusing is, you set a starting rate and then you have this price per guest. Reason being, presumably you don't want to be out there for, $5 for, for one guest or something. So, so this starting rate is going to get added to the guest count. Sometimes people don't want that. You can always set that starting rate to 0, and then you're just going to be working with it.
I think that's an important feature, and it basically allows you to have hourly pricing and per guest pricing and package pricing automatically calculated. I think that's pretty awesome.
And the main thing I would say too is if you get confused on setting up your pricing or how to structure your packages or things like that, definitely chat with us. We can give help.
Here's Andrew. Typically, after a certain amount of hours, people order less after 45 hours, for example. How does the system scale, descale this? That's not something we offer. I would think don't sell alcohol, dry hair. Yeah. And so, I mean, you're talking about basically garnishes and napkins and all that stuff. I would just try to bake it in, make it easy.
Yeah, you could also organize by, instead of having them, you could say, on the step where we've got based on guest counts, you could do it based on hour counts.
Yeah.
Less than 4 hours, 4 to 8 hours, etc. Have a few of those to choose from.
Yeah.
If you got like a price list or something you're kind of looking to do, feel free to shoot it over. I think we're certainly open to kind of making some changes.
So for example, my quotes for 200 plus, people seem too high. I know they order less. Yeah. And I think, for some of those things, CheckCherry also has a proposal system. So you can send those out and you can override the pricing on the packages, the add-ons. I would add a discount, frankly.
One other thing you can do, I don't know if it would quite fit into that, but you can set discounts or surcharges if the total is within a certain range. So you could say, hey, if we're in that 1,000 to 1,500 range, I want to give a $100 discount or something. So that's a thing too. Under manage flex pricing. There's some different rules like that.
Yeah. Rachel says you can show our packages.
Oh, cool. You guys do snacks and stuff too.
Snacks and stacks.
That's new.
Yeah. So you guys have some mobile bartending, and then
Same idea.
Yeah.
In each of the guest count part, then there's tiers within that of like your standard, which is 2 signature cocktails, and premium, all in, and then beer and wine, and just bartending. So it's all done by guest count though.
Yeah. That's the package groups. Yeah.
Yeah. And you can have different tiers too. So like right now, there's just one tier in here, like 150 to 250 is $650 each. You could have another tier, like say 251 to 500 and have a lower per guest for that if that was not for you guys, but for some of the other people that were looking to kind of discount it a little at higher rates.
But like, you mean if it went up to the guest count? Like, yeah, we have that as custom. So if it went up above that, we custom do it because it really depends on the venue for us, because some of them we know them and we don't need 4 bartenders or whatever. We know, and 3 can handle that. So.
And Rachel, on that package, you can send them right to one of your lead forms instead of a package at $0, and then they just become a lead, basically a custom package lead, and you get an email. That's another option. Yeah. You can basically set that up. It's a package setting under advanced. I mean, maybe.
Okay.
Yeah.
New to that.
And so love it. And so how's it been going with CheckCherry? It's, you guys got it pretty smooth.
Yeah, absolutely amazing. It's changed our lives, changed our businesses. I can't say enough great things about it.
Awesome. I love that. Yeah. And any feature requests or anything like that? I mean, how can we make it better for mobile bartenders?
Do we need anything?
Not at the
I think
moment?
we're good. Anytime we've had a question, we come to you guys
I
and
mean-
help us out, and nothing hasn't been there yet. So we were doing everything manually before, and it was just,
to put it mildly, a show.
Andrew, I think that Andrew asked if you'd moved from a different CRM, but there's your answer. No, they were doing it manual. Andrew, are you using something right now or manual? Dubsado, yeah, cool. Yep. And then Lanisha's here. Hey, Lanisha, how are you? Any ways we can make Check Cherry better?
Not at the moment. Cool. I always come up with something new every time I'm in there. So
it's an exciting segment for us, the mobile bartenders. We think we can really help you guys out, and we've had really great feedback so far. And Check Cherry is far from perfect in many ways, and we know there's other areas and ways that we can make it better for certain industries. And I think the mobile bartender stuff's really been something where I think it's really helped people simplify the quoting process in a lot of ways. So again, you can hop right into proposals too. Maybe Matt, you can show that.
One of my most favorite features that y'all have added on, the multiple proposal option, because we are sending them all out, individually. And this is so amazing to be able to give them different options.
Yeah, and so you would use a proposal. I mean, obviously, if you talk to somebody or you find a way to that what they want or have an idea, or somebody who's looking to buy, you can send a proposal with just an offer. Another thing you can do is you can add an alternate. We call them alternatives, I think, where basically they can have multiple options within the proposal and accept one. And no, we've gotten really good feedback. That was a tough feature for us, actually. It was a long, outstanding feature request. It made a lot of sense.
So typically the way the proposal works, that's going to be something that like you send to a specific person. So typically you're going to hit that send email or send SMS button. They'll click a link in their email and then come to, in this case, a page like this, where there's a couple of different options for them to choose from. In both cases, I guess, same imagery, but typically it's going to have the different package name, the different image, things like that, and different, they can kind of see the different prices. And then once they choose it, this is more of, if you don't include multiple offers, if you just have a single kind of thing you're sending them, this is what they'll see, just all the details of their event. And then they'll go through that same thing, make that, once they click accept, they'll be able to sign and pay as well. So
Tina says, I honestly want a user-friendly software. Currently, I'm operating everything Square, but this looks like it would be an amazing tool. Take a ton of time off my hands and shoulders. Yep, Tina, chances are good. So chat with us as you need help. We're here to help you get it set up. We can do welcome calls, package setup calls, that type of thing.
You guys hear me now?
Yeah.
Hey, all right.
Hey, Dallas, thanks for coming.
Yeah, no, thank you so much for doing this. Appreciate you guys. No, the one thing I was saying, that's the first thing that I mentioned was being able to say I have X amount of guests and I want to add more staff to that. And I see the tiered system that you guys are using there. I feel like it makes it busy. It makes it too much for the customer to look at and choose from. So if they're able to just input, hey, I have this many guests, and the system we just know, hey, they need this number of bartenders, whether it's 75 guests per bartender or 100 or whatever, whatever it may be. I choose.
Yep. And then you would charge hourly, I would assume, on that.
Yes. I mean, either hourly or based on the total event. So for example, we charge $350 for our base $400 package with one bartender. And if I want to add a second bartender, if I get up over 100 guests, I want to add a second bartender, I want to charge automatically another $150.
Yep.
And then to take it the next step further, okay, what if we go beyond that 4 hours? Okay, yes, I still want to charge hourly for that second bartender too.
Yeah, no, I get it. Yeah. Have you tried the way that it's done right now? I'm just kind of curious because I want you to have a solution like right now. And got
right now what we do is we just manually look at it. Yeah. We look at it and say, hey, this is over 100 guests, so we're going to add a second bartender. And that works just fine for us because we're looking at everything. We're touching everything anyways.
Yeah, no, I get that. And Rachel, have you had feedback? Because Rachel's doing the tiered system. We just saw that. Have you guys had feedback from clients getting confused on that by any chance?
No, we have not had anyone be confused about the way we do it at all.
No, let's try. I think just consider trying it. I mean, that's what I would encourage you to do because it's unlikely we get it out anytime like super soon within the next 6 months, year, unless Matt has different. Because probably the setup process will be.
It's not a hey, I need this right here right now.
Okay, cool. Yeah, but
every once in a while, if we're doing beer and wine only, and it's 85 people, which for us would be 2 bartenders. if it's beer and wine only, one bartender can do that.
Yeah,
So I
interesting.
will tell them,
See,
hey, you
that's
know what?
another wrinkle.
And so I'll actually just lower the head count on it. You know what I mean? So sometimes there's a little tiny bit of tweaking, but that's more, I'm trying to accommodate the customer. I mean, I could go strictly by the book and book 2 people and there's enough money to pay 2 people, but I'm just that way. I'm like, I'm not going to gouge you for another bartender. And so I'll manually manipulate it. But nobody ever says anything about the way they totally understand it.
And I think it's very clear, like how many guests do I have? What package do I want? And then I book. And so it flows and it makes sense. I will say, because you have to make like the first, I don't know what they're called, like the first set of packages based off of guest count, and then you have to make the second set for each like package type. You got to do it over and over and over again.
Right. It's a little cumbersome, yeah.
Yes, but once it's done, and like we had to test them all to make sure that they worked, but once that's done, like you can just rest easy that it's all happening and it's all going to work just fine. So that's the part, like just prepare to spend an entire night making those packages, but once you're done, you're done.
And you could duplicate, but Dallas, I mean, all that being said, I totally get it. And it would be easier and just like quick. Here's what I need, give me a quote, that type of thing. So I've got some more comments.
Yes, and I mean, absolutely. I see that system working really well. It just appears cluttered in my eyes.
Yeah, no, I get that. That's it. Yeah. Okay, Lanisha's got one. Lanisha, again, feel free to unmute yourself. She says, I cannot find the way to raise my hand. But she basically is like, hey, I know I can sign contracts. Could there also be a way for us to put contracts in place for employees or our staff to e-sign when they start using a business account, for example, NDAs, NCAs, all that stuff. It's an interesting idea. I mean, I think it makes sense. What I've learned is that there tends to be just like one signature for when you hire somebody, and it happens usually outside of check cherry. I guess historically, it's not a common feature request. I get it. I think that it makes sense that, we would add something like that. And it's good feedback. I mean, I think, yeah, be cool. Yeah.
Okay. My other question was, I had to go back and log into my account just to see what my requests were, because I couldn't remember. Was there any other thought on the alcohol calculator being added?
We haven't done it. And tell me how you would want to use it, I guess. Is that on a marketing side? Remind me. You want to like, hey, on the marketing side, use it, or is it like after somebody books or while they're booking, or?
It would be more so after someone books.
How much alcohol they need to purchase.
Right.
So, hey, here's your shopping list, basically.
Yes. That would be amazing.
Yes.
Yeah, we thought about it. It seems to make sense. And so I guess we have to figure that one out.
I can tell you where you can go to hijack it.
Love it.
Mobile Bev Pros on Facebook.
Theirs works good. Yeah.
Theirs is amazing. I mean, to me, I think it's a little bit heavy, but it will even give you ice and garnish counts and things like that.
The full bar.
Yeah, I mean, it's really amazing, but I just don't log into Facebook very much. And so I hate to have to go over there and do that. It would be amazing to have that in our one platform.
Yep. I like it. I guess like we just kind of don't know exactly. So we'll probably, I guess, the good news is you guys can all give us feedback, so I like that.
There's your feedback. There it is.
Yeah. Well, once it's done, here, Andrew's like, I say, hey, Jeremy's like, it's too much alcohol. They're all too much alcohol online, and maybe there'd be some settings or something where, you can hone it in. Or
I mean, there's even tells you like it's one drink for average drinkers, one drink per person per hour.
Yeah.
And then, so you just calculate that into which you can do it with your head, but it's just a lot of work.
Mm-hmm. Stephanie wanted to know this. What did you recommend for the alcohol calculator?
Oh, that was on the mobile Bev Pros calculator that we were. Is she asking what Rachel?
Yeah. What did she say? She said it was a mobile Bev Pros.
Yeah, mobile Bev Pros.
Yeah.
I'll send you.
Yeah, on Facebook. It's the group.
Oh, it's on Facebook.
Yeah, it's on Facebook in a group.
If you want to check out more webinars like that, check out our YouTube channel where we have plenty more content just like that. Link in description.